Hello. With me today is a special guest, Akinsola Jegede. He's the CEO and founder of VitalSwap. Akinsola, welcome to the show today. How are you doing?
Hi, Osazua. I am doing great, and thanks for having me on this podcast. I am doing good.
Fantastic. All right, awesome. Thanks for taking the time as well to join us. What is a fun fact about you? Something people don't know about you that you're okay to share.
I think the fact that uh my face looks calm, but it doesn't describe what goes on at the back of my mind. I could be a daredevil at sometimes. There are only few crazy people that could jump out of a plane and just fly just to enjoy the moment. And I'm one of them. Doing skydiving is one of the fun things I've ever done in my life. And it's one of the fun things about me.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. You got the adrenaline rush as well. That's good. Also, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. So Akinsula, yeah. So you're founder and CEO of VitalSwap. What is VitalSwap, first of all? And yeah.
VitalSwap is a cross-border payment platform, and we're here to simplify cross-border payments. We're here to make it efficient. And when I say efficient, I mean speed, convenience, and cost. Those three things don't go together in the conventional state, but VitalSwap is trying to optimize it for cross-border payments.
Cool. Awesome. And we'll double click into that in a bit, but just taking a step back, like what led you to this venture? Like what's your genesis? Like how did you arrive at this? Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, VitalSwap is plus 3 years today, but that doesn't mean the idea behind VitalSwap started 3 years ago. It's been around since 2016 when, as a Nigerian, you face payment challenges, right? Whether you're trying to make cross-border payments or you're even trying to receive money cross-border is always a challenge. And my first encounter was when I was trying to migrate from Nigeria to United States. And I went to the bank and said, "Hey, I'm traveling." I literally went like one day to go, like, because I was like, the bank is there for me to, solve my problem. I walked in there, like, I have this amount of naira, I'm trying to get it into dollars so I can travel. And they looked at me like I just spoke some foreign language and told me like I should go to the black market to go and get it. That was my first shock. I was like, wait, what? So the bank who's supposed to be the custodian of this money doesn't have it. So anyway, I had to go buy at premium price, and I just went by my day. I traveled, and the first day, or let me call it the first night, that was 1 a.m. Pittsburgh International Airport in United States. Landed. I was trying to take a cab to the train station, and I had to buy like train ticket. To the bus station, I had to buy bus ticket, and my card got declined. I mean, that is automatic stranded. You're automatically stranded, right? So anyway, those experiences for me were like, wait, is this things happening? How many people are facing this experience? And I didn't care too much about it that time. Then I went by. Then I think few years down the line, I was trying to send some money to my for medical expenses for my stepmom. She was very, very sick. And the only platform I could use at that time, I think Sendwave, and they bounced me. They're like, no, you can't send this amount of money. Again, this money is my money. I work for it. I was a technical consultant at I think Atrium at that time. This is my money. I'm trying to send it, and I couldn't. When I faced that, it was an awakening that something had to be done. That's how Vital Swaps started.
Interesting. Yeah. It was literally from your personal pain points that you've experienced firsthand. Have. Okay. Interesting. And so when it comes to cross-border payments, how are you solving this? Are you focusing more on businesses or individuals? Who would use this? Is it the everyday person who's trying to move money back home, or businesses? I'm curious to know more about the offerings that FileSwap has.
Yeah, I mean, generally at the end of everything, there's a person there, right? It matters to one person. So, but initially we started serving individuals, but after 3 years, we've grown into serving businesses with the same concepts that work for individuals and is also working for businesses right now. So, and I think if I have to delve into what specific products we offer to these uh clientele, I think I have to go deeper into the core idea of VitalSwap, right? How individuals have their problem solved with the product like virtual cards, like transfers. Businesses have a different pain point when it comes to cross-border payments, right? If you have a business in the United States or Canada and you have customers in Africa, do you receive local African currencies or do you receive US dollars and tell your African customers to find? That is a big problem for businesses. Yeah.
I
So
see.
VitalSwap is playing in that niche to solve that problem.
Pretty cool. Interesting. And just shifting gears a little bit, when we look at the industry in fintech and finance, there are some factors that are probably kind of changing the landscape a little bit. So, two things I'll mention: AI, blockchain. What role do you think these are playing in terms of just market trends and industry trends, and any other factors that outside of those two? What have you observed?
Yeah, I mean, even before these technologies evolved, one of the things that has enabled VitalSwap to even play in this space is technology in the first place, right? Look at 10 years, 50, 20 years ago, we probably don't have fintechs as much, and technology has been able to help us spring up things, integrate, and provide solutions. The same way that technology helped us to this point is the same way this modern technology, Web3, stablecoin, AI is helping us to make payment better. For lack of better words, those technologies are there to help us make payment better. And when you look at VitalSwap, like I mentioned previously, our goal is to make payment efficient, less costly, fast and convenient for you. So these technologies are providing that solution to us. I can dive into use cases for each one of them, but I can tell you categorically that technologies are there for us to make payment efficient.
Right. Okay. And so it's more of a positive thing, right? So if you pick AI, for example, I mean, you could pick either of those two things. Is there any particular way it will help you get to your mission a little bit faster, or even not? Might not be specific to Vital Swap. It could be just the industry as a whole, like fintech solutions. Yeah. Any particular, if there was one thing that the industry hasn't really leveraged enough of, what would you say that is, just in terms of like accelerating the space?
Yeah, I think for us, AI is very helpful in conducting due diligences. Let me give you an example. One of the product that we offer to individuals and businesses is high value transfers. Look at my situation when I was trying to send money for medical expenses. It was a bit over $5,000 at that time. Platforms are going to like need more details if you're sending above like threshold. So for most people that are transferring money, businesses, individuals, say you're running a project and you're trying to send $20,000, you probably want to combine like 10 remittance apps and send 2,000 here, 3,000 there. When you do all of those things, um, you're literally structuring, right? There's a reason why there's a limit. So when you start breaking it down, the system is seeing you as you're trying to do fraud. Why are you sending 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000? Why can't you just send 20,000? So that's why the product we provide for that is high value transfers. And we are not saying, oh, bring your $20,000, bring your $50,000, $100,000, and let's just transfer. No, we are putting system in place that will enable us conduct the right due diligence before we make that transfer happen for you. That could be very cumbersome when you think about it. So what do we do? With AI, we are able to collect data information about you and analyze it on the go and make that process seamless for high value transfer. So that is one of the very good use case for us. For example, you're trying to send $50,000 to a bank. They are going to ask you to bring, your dad's land document. Let's see how much money you guys. Let's see if you guys are rich enough to even possess 50,000.
Yeah.
Put in context. The idea is to get information whether the source and the purpose of this fund is within the confines of the law, right? And when people submit document and someone had to try to sit down and look at it and do this and do that, that takes days, right? So with AI, we can collect all those information on the fly and analyze it on the fly and get approval or rejection for high volume transfers. That is one important use case of AI when it comes to cross-border payment.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, that definitely speeds up process, right? I know
Yeah,
some of this also devs into like KYC and whatnot, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So just switching gears a little bit. So you've launched a pilot 2022, and now you're fully launched. You've gone to market. You've had your releases. Has there been? Would you say you like from day one, you know, pilot day one of the pilot program or launch up until now? Would you say there's been a growth? You've probably seen some increase in scale in terms of adoption and whatnot. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. When we ended our pilot, we ended with plus 2,000 customers that are signed up on the platform. But when we went back to drawing board, refined things, and go back late last year, we're probably like 1 year into full operations. And as of today, we've grown to over 20,000 customers, approaching 100,000 customers.
Amazing. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about your role as CEO running VitalSwap. What does that look like a typical day for you? And please don't tell me what kind of tea or coffee you pick. But I'm just curious. What's a typical day like in the day of Akinsola, the CEO?
I mean, to start with, I am not a coffee person.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of people take coffee and it just kind of make them active. I'm the opposite of that. I take coffee and I am dull. I probably won't get anything done for that day. But anyway, let me drive you into what it looks like. I mean, when we launched late last year, I was still very much operational, trying to put system in place, making sure that our team have the required tools for them to operate, making sure that our systems are well operational, our partners are active and whatnot. Um, but along the line, the goal shifted into we have the team have their responsibilities, the technology is working great. Along the line, my role shifted from being fully operational to partly being operational, where what I'm looking for is okay, capital, funding, maintaining partnership, more strategic role, looking at okay, what does the future look like for us? What product should we be pushing, working more with the data. I was transitioning between that. So I would say it was more like 50% operational, 50% strategic positioning. But the operational side of it is going to have been join the developers, write code. By the way, I probably wrote like 70% of the code of what runs in VitalSwap as of today,
I
but
see. I see. Yeah.
my team is catching up already.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Are they catching all the bugs that you introduced as well? They're
Of
like,
course,
what was
of
he
course,
thinking? Like,
of course.
I'm just
Of
joking.
course, and I have to tell them, yeah, you were not there when I had to do it, but yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing the right way this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the journey was from being operational to being working in strategic positions. I call it working on the company. A lot of people call it like that. So it's now me looking into what do we want to look like in the next 1 year, the next 5 years, what product should be driving our growth, what partner is the right person to work with, what investor should we be talking to. So I was partly doing that until we raised our pre-seed. We raised our pre-seed this year. And now these days, I think I've seen my role transition more fully into that being strategic leader, trying to do more in terms of strategy than operational.
I see. I see. That makes sense. You're spending more time in strategic work right now. Growth and whatnot. What are some things that are what are some things that are working well? But I'm also gonna dive to the opposite of that question as well. So, what are some things that are working well so far that you love the path in which you're going so far as a business? That is, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think one of the things that is working well is the fact that the product that we have today that is really doing great right there in the market, our business product, our checkout. This checkout allows foreign businesses, US businesses who have African customers to receive payments without that friction of, do I get paid in local currency or I get paid in US dollars? And it's pretty straightforward. The checkout allows your customer to pay in local currency, it converts it to US dollars, and it settles the business in US dollars. And all of these things happen in real time, right? And that's the piece of the efficiency part that I was talking to you about. So here now we're saying you're a business, say your e-commerce business or your shipping business, and someone from Nigeria orders something on Amazon, they ship it to your warehouse, and it's time for you to ship it down there. How do you get paid? Even if you're shopping for them, how do you get paid? You use the checkout. They pay in naira, you get the equivalent of dollars, and you go fulfill your part of the transaction. So when I look at the performance of that product, we launched it, I think, a couple of months ago, and it has accounted for 30% of our growth in the entire year. When you look at that and where it came from, that idea came from 2 years ago when we were having that downtime. And I told my team, I was like, this is what we are going to transition into. It's not even about the virtual card. We sell virtual card, but I hate it. I tell my team every day, it's a stupid product. But
Really? Why?
For Africans, I
Okay, yeah, yeah, got it. For that market, exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
got it.
for that market, it's too expensive. Before they order one virtual card, they probably want to spend up to $3. On our platform, we even subsidize it as much as possible, but you still get away with $1.50. To add money to it, you're still going to pay between $1 or 50 cents. Now, when you spend that card, you get charged. Now, for the customer, you're already losing, say you're paying $100, you're already losing about $5 to $10 in that just for using virtual card. Now, let's shift gears and let's shift position to the business. Every payment a business receives with that card, the minimum fee that you get charged is like $3. Now, is like 3%. Now, when you move that money to your bank to go fulfill purposes, at the end of the day, you're paying over 5%. So 5% on business side, 5% on customer side is ridiculous. So with our platform, every business is already integrated our platform. Their customers don't even need a virtual card anymore, right? So that's one of the things it is facing out. So when you look at where the idea came from was from 2 years ago, where we're saying, okay, this is one of the future of VitalSwap in the near terms, right? In the nearest future. And we are there today and we are seeing the impact. That is the benefit of being a strategic leader.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that is one thing that I would say is going well. If I'll mention two things, is the fact that when it's just yourself or you and your co-founder, things are very easy. But when you start bringing third, fourth people in, things get more difficult. Overnight, we grew from 3 people to 11 team members. And that was because we had we growing from 2,000 customer to over 20,000 customer within 1 year is like a lot of things must have happened within that year. So we had to grow our team as well. Now, it's very difficult working with other people, but that part is going well because your teammates, your employees, they understand the business now. They understand your customer. They understand the vision. Everyone understands their role, and things looks like the wheel is just going on, and
That's good.
it's smooth, right? That is the other thing that I would say is going fine. What are the things that are not going fine? The problems are still there. Look at VitalSwap, 3-year company, 1 year fully operational. There are still trust issues, right? Sometimes we talk to a business and they're like, "Oh, you guys are still very early." Yeah, we're early, but we're doing a good job right here. And in the words of one of our business customer, recently where he called me and told me he doesn't have money problem again. What that means is integrating VitalSwap solved all his money problems.
That's great.
You see, for a company that is for a company of our age, some other companies will see that as you're still very, very new in the market. Yeah, but everyone is going to grow. Maybe we will spend our own time in purgatory of those type of founders. For those that are accepting us, they are seeing things change in their business. Is one thing, is one thing to run your business, is another thing to run the finances of it, right? When you
Yeah.
see a company that takes away the load of those money aspect, you can run your business efficiently. You can start being the strategic leader for your own business. What is your business going to look like in the next 5 years? Now you have the time. If you don't have your payment streamlined with someone that gives you the tailored solution for it, you notice that you spend most of your time thinking about the money problem. I have 20 million naira in Nigeria. How do I exchange it? Rare exchange rate is going to change tomorrow. I'm going to lose more money. Oh my God. I have to put
Mm.
more items for customers here. How do I do that? You don't have time to be strategic. So I think that trust factor is one of the things that we are gradually catching up to as our name is becoming a household name in the payment industry.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's pretty cool. And I just want to add to the point that you made there. It's, people tenure is one thing, but another thing is accomplishments. Like you can what you've accomplished in a short period of time, or relatively to people who've been for decades. That's something, that's the pride moment, right? Is that's
Yeah.
what people see what you've accomplished. And that must have been a good vote of confidence, that business customer saying that to you. So that's great.
Yeah.
And when it comes to these, like, how else are you increasing that, like, getting over that barrier? So, like, the barrier of, I don't know, I guess you use the word trust, but when you're acquiring new businesses, yeah, what else are you using to get over that hurdle?
Yeah, I think so. My team made me the salesperson of the year. Let me put it that way.
Wow, nice.
I'm
Well,
like,
that's a good thing. Yeah. Okay.
what's my role if I'm not selling? My background is not selling. My background, at most, I was a chartered accountant before I became a tech bro. But most importantly, I've usually sold to consumers. When you sell to consumers, is like they get onboarded in 1 minute, right? Sales cycle. I never knew the sales cycle for business is different. I was like, if I should meet you today, Osazua, and I say, hey, see my product, it's great, it solves this for you. My expectation is like you're going to say, oh, it's great. Okay, sign up.
Wish it was that easy, yeah?
I didn't know it was different for businesses. And over time I was learning on the sales job, and I got to understand that, you know, there are some things that needs to be put in place. There are some things that needs to go forward. You don't have to think like yourself. You have to think like the customer itself, the we call them ICP, the person you're selling to in the business.
Your ideal customer profile, yeah.
Yeah. So you have to think about what do they care about, right? And this happened to me. I think I got to that realization one day. I was going out to get my mail, and one of these people in the neighborhood just stopped, and he's trying to tell, oh, we're the new trash people in the neighborhood. And it was just going on and on. Our pricing point is this, pricing point is that. I mean, the difference is like, as of today, we probably pay like $100 per quarter, and he's saying they have it at $80 per quarter. I didn't care about all of this.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, okay, if I should say goodbye to my old guys, right? And I switch on to you, and in 1 month you switch up your price point. That's one.
Mm,
Or two, you just didn't come to pick my trash, right?
mhm.
There is no consistency in working with you. All those things are like doubt, like, okay, you're new. How do I trust that I want to jump on this? Right. And as I was thinking out loud, I was telling him, like, this is what I'm thinking. The pricing point is not even great. I'm even thinking about my neighbors, everyone. You could see the
Yeah.
name, you could see the name of the trash company on your box. You've gone around the neighborhood and you've told them you're cheap. And my neighbor sees that I'm the only guy that got your container. And they now look at me like, oh, that's the cheap guy in the neighborhood.
There's a little bit of societal factor at play too. Uh,
Yeah, I was thinking about all of that. And, anyway, he signed me up, and it went too fast. They delivered it. I was really angry. Like, no, I didn't. I just told you that, okay, I'm glad to learn that you are in the neighborhood. If I make my decision, I'm going to jump on it. But before I knew it, they started bringing their stuff.
wow.
I'm like, come on, I didn't sign up for this. I just told you that, yeah, keep me in the loop. And that was it. But that day, it got me thinking that, okay, look at how I just thought about this new business, right? Probably that's how people are thinking about when I pretend.
Mm.
So at that point, it was a realization that, oh, we have this problem, we have this product, it solves the problem, but that doesn't mean they're going to jump on it. What matters to them, right? It's not necessarily the pricing. It's probably the credibility. It's probably it's not consistency. I'm trying to find the word. How reliable your system is.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for someone that has not tried you, how do you prove reliability?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, how do you prove reliability? And we did a research one time of why people actually buy from you. They buy from you because of trust. They trust that you're reliable, and there's a journey that the customer will take before they trust you. It's either you've been there for a long time, they've heard your name, they know that you're big, you're like a
Hmm. Hmm.
household name for that niche. So they automatically trust you. Number two ways you can get it is whether a big name hold your hands and say, um, a big name holds your hand and say, hey, this is my beloved son, trade with him.
Right. Right.
And
Almost like
they're
an
like,
endorsement of some sort, right? Yeah.
yeah, they're those.
Yeah.
And the third one is like, your platform is so seamless that when they try it the first time, no hiccup, and they get sold. We looked at all these three things and we thought, okay, which trust model can we achieve? Well, I think we can easily achieve that is a seamless platform, and we put some work into it and we started seeing like very good improvement. But back to, how are we making sure that our customers, our business customers trust us. That is one of the things that we're doing, making sure what we tell them is exactly how it is, right? When they eventually try it out. That's the case that we've seen for all the businesses we've onboarded. Every time if I, as a salesperson, we have a tendency of, selling the world to them. But I make sure that I emphasize on what we are doing for them. So when they got there, they find the exact thing and automatically they get sold.
Yeah. The
Think
value
number
add for them specifically,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes. It's not like they get there and they start, going right and left and they're just not sure of it because it's not seamless for them. The second thing is we have learned that we have an entire platform. There is no need dumping everything to a business ICP. You're fine telling him all the features, but the moment you hit the right spot of what matters to him, just have him start with that feature. And over time, you can continue to resell other features to him. In the past, I'll be like, yeah, we can do this, we can do this. And they keep telling me, oh, this is what I want. I'm like, okay, you want this too, you want that too, you know,
Yeah.
and it can erode trust when someone is saying something to you and you're not hearing them, you're not listening
Hmm.
to them. So
Hmm.
I think those two things have really helped businesses trust us more, and it has really helped our platform also to grow in the number of businesses we're onboarding.
Okay, that's great, and I can see why your team gave you salesperson of the award, right, of the year. So that's good. There's some really good tips you shared there. Um, in terms of like getting these businesses, what hasn't worked for you?
Um, so one of the things that so right now we're serving mid-sized businesses, but our product is also designed for large corporations, right? We're talking about businesses that have been around for over 25 years that are processing millions in months. Right now, most of the businesses we're serving are processing like uh, thousands, tens of thousands in a month. But I recently just closed on one they're going to launch soon that are processing like very significant amount of money a month. But one thing that has not worked is getting the likes of Amazon, getting the likes of Google, getting the likes of eBay, Fashion Nova, Best Buy to explore, not necessarily to get onboarded, to
To
explore
try it out, just to try it out, to try to explore the possibilities in terms of the features.
possibilities that it opens to them. For example, look at Best Buy, for example. Best Buy doesn't know they have customers in Nigeria, right? They don't know they have customers in Nigeria.
I didn't even
And
know.
at the end
Okay.
of the year, right? At the end of the year, Best Buy is going to come up with their financial statement, and they're going to say in United States, this is how much revenue we've made. No, that is not how much revenue you've made in the United States. A portion of that revenue came from Africa, but Africans need intermediaries to buy on your platform, to pay on your platform, and those intermediaries ship to them. Now, you cannot capture that market efficiently because you don't have the data to support it. But we work with the shipping companies. We've seen those data. That data is huge. We're talking about millions, nearing billions of dollars are being spent by Africans on this platform that doesn't even know them. Look at Fashion Nova, for example, right? They may have an idea they have customers abroad, but you know the amount of people that hold us on Fashion Nova. Now, if they are able to capture that amount of market without paying attention to them, how much more can they capture when they pay attention to them? And we are the gateway for them to achieve that, right? So that's why I said, I'm not even asking them come and on board and whatnot. Come and explore. Let's have that conversation and let's show you what is possible. The $3 or $10 billion revenue you reported that is from United States is not. It's probably maybe 20% of it came from Africa. Let's increase that number to probably 50%.
You've shared a lot of great gems, and these are amazing. Would you have any advice for early stage fintech founders who are just early on their journey and you know think about some of the hurdles that you've crossed so far? Yeah.
Yes, I have a lot.
What would you say your top two? Yeah.
My top one is don't do it. Go live your good life. That's my number one. Go and live your good life. Go and spend time with your family. Go and pursue other venture. You could be happier. That would be my number one. Okay, so number
Mhm.
two is if you decide to not follow number one.
You're a daredevil, like you're like, I'm gonna go for it. I don't care about the consequences.
Number two is which one is gonna take the spot of number two? If you're an experienced founder, I probably think you know a lot about entrepreneurship already. You know about networking, you know about building teams, building organization, fundraising, the market. But if you're a new founder, I think my number two is be teachable. Network and be teachable. It's going to help you a lot in getting things done better. So, first time founders, we always fall into that. I have this idea, I have this vision. Some we even go as far as they got someone who is ready to listen to them, but they can't share the idea because they feel it's confidential. You know, nobody cares about your idea.
Sign an NDA, right?
Yeah,
you know?
nobody cares about your idea. Just can you execute it?
Mhm.
Founders, early stage founders could feel like that. But if you're teachable, you're going to learn a lot from people faster. They're going to, quickly tell you like, hey, don't do that. Don't, this is, nobody cares about your idea. It's the execution. If you have a vision and it is good enough, it's going to take time. If it is difficult, it could be rewarding, but it's going to be, it's going to take you your grit, attention, focus. If you network, if you're trying to fundraise and you have good network, it could easily help you. Few people that are invested in vital swaps early stage. My boss invested in vital swap. He invested in my company, right? I used to work with him, I think around 2021. And when I left, after some years we connected and was like, I know you've always said you wanted to do this. I know you, I believe you have something going on. Here's my money. Go get it. I don't care whether it succeed or not, but I know you know what you're doing. So just go do it. Right. If you have people in your network that could trust you, they can really, you know, rally hard for you, and it takes you from ground zero pretty fast. Um, than having to do everything all by yourself, isolated. My community has really helped me, especially the founders community in Indiana. There are a lot of programs that they've been helpful. African Diaspora Network, they've been helpful as well. Help shaping things, accelerators. I think for new founders, those journeys are very important, especially for immigrant founders. It's different building a company in Nigeria and building a company from United States, right? And if you're not teachable, all these lessons are going to fly by you and you won't catch it, right? So being teachable is going to be the second thing. There are a lot of other things that could go on. I mentioned networking. I think understanding how to build a company is different from how to build a mobile app. It's different from how
Yeah.
to build, understand.
Two separate things.
They're very two separate things. When you're done with your mobile app, you're just done with like 1% of things. People can build a company without that mobile app and will still be successful with it.
Mhm.
understanding all those things as a new first time founder, you just have to be teachable. Don't let those lessons pass by you. You know, at the beginning of this conversation, I talked about transitioning from being operational to being strategic. You can be a founder for 10 years, you can, which is what I'm going to say next. And if you don't catch all those lessons, you can be operational all your life. Your company will have
Mm,
hard time growing. I mean, I bet you guys can just year in, year out, keep making revenue, all of you keep trying, but it may not scale or it may not be
mm.
well utilized as much, right? So I think those are the valuable lessons that I will share with any early stage founder. For second time founder, third time founder, I don't care about them. They're already vetted. Oh yeah. And I think someone posted on Twitter one time and said on X and said, "Oh, I've built five failed startup in the last, I think 1 year or 12 months." Like people don't build things and expect it to just grow. Look at OpenAI. They came out 2 years ago and they got to billions of users. Do you think OpenAI is 2 years old? They probably
They have a longer journey than the public, majority of the public thinks, right? It's like, oh, overnight success. That's what people think.
it doesn't work that way. You just have to um you have to spend some time learning, pivoting, if you have to understanding. I mean, your vision is there, it doesn't change. But every roadblock that you get to does not mean the end of your venture. It doesn't mean the end of the company. In fact, those are the fun things. Those roadblocks are the fun things that you get along the way, right? At the point where you think you've got a great partner and your partnership is going fine, and boom, disaster struck. What do you do at that point? Do you close your shop and say, okay, my company folded up? No, you find a way to mitigate that. You find a way to keep going, right? By doing so, you're going to hit that spot eventually if you see progress, right? If what you're doing is progressing towards your vision, eventually you're going to hit that goal. But you start a company today because you think you can build a mobile app, you build a mobile app and people don't buy it, right? Then you close it down, you move on to the next one. I can assure you, you're going to build 100 companies and none of it is great. So
Yeah, no, very, very valid point. Hey, Akinsola, thanks a lot for all the wonderful gems you've shared. I think it's also interesting hearing about your journey and how you started because, and just the reality of it. That I love your first advice as well. Like don't do it because it's not you're not saying that to discourage others. To kill the competition, but it's just the fact of it that it's a very it's a challenging path, but it's all can be very rewarding. Right?
that's right. That's right. It can be very
Awesome.
challenging and rewarding at the same time. But be ready to be a madman along the way.
Lose some brain cells. Akinsola, thanks again for joining us on the show, and thanks again, and wishing you all the best with VitalSwap and seeing where it takes you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on the show, Osazua. I look forward to interacting with you later in the future.